I'm Lou's sister, and I am a yoga teacher working in the UK. And excitingly, I'm going to give you guys some yoga to work through as part of a postnatal course with Lou. So, here we go. So we're going to start off on our knees. If this is comfortable for you, before you get started, you might want to grab yourself a towel so that you can roll that up if you need it at any point, just to use as a bit of a bolster at all. And just do what feels comfortable for you throughout this. So if any of it doesn't feel right today, doesn't ever feel right, then that's completely fine. Obviously, I haven't met you guys in person and I'm not with you right now, so please listen to your bodies and be kind to yourself. We are still in the postnatal period, and same as when you're pregnant, super important to be mindful of where your body is at. Okay, so please don't overdo it in my absence. Okay, so we're going to start off on our knees. If that's not comfortable for you, then please feel free to sit down. That's completely fine. If you can, kneeling like that. If you want to put a towel between your bottom and your heels, that's completely fine as well. Okay. And I just want you to bring your palms together at your heart center and just gently close your eyes. And we're going to take a little bit of time to do some yoga today. Spend some time for you. And we're just going to do a few breaths, really focusing on our breath before we start moving, okay? So I want you to do a big inhale through your nose, and I want you to feel that air come all the way down into your stomach. And then a big exhale through your mouth. Really big inhale. All the way down through your lungs, really filling the body. Exhale the air out. Keep those eyes gently closed. And on your next inhale, I want you to think, inhale peace. And exhale tension. Inhale peace. Exhale tension. Inhale peace. Exhale tension. And then we're going to release our hands and pop them on the tops of our thighs. Sit the heels of your hands right up against your bones if you can. And gently open your eyes. Okay? And I want you to just bring your shoulders back and your elbows back towards each other. Okay, really open up across that chest. Big inhale, you can take your head back gently if you want to. And then you're going to exhale and you're going to slide your hands forward down your knees, tuck your chin under, and really curve your spine. Bring your chin towards your chest. And then inhale. Open it all up. Exhale as you tuck everything in. Inhale and open up. Okay, make sure your arms aren't jumping up towards your ears. And imagine someone is bringing your shoulders together behind your back. Bringing your shoulder blades together, bringing your elbows together. Okay, so on the exhale, curve everything forward. Look down towards your navel. Inhale, open everything up. And exhale. Lovely. And then come back through to a nice neutral position. Go back onto our knees. Palms together at our heart center. Okay, and we're just going to inhale those arms up. And exhale, draw them around in a really big wide circle. Okay, I want you to draw that circle as wide as you can with your arms, okay? Big inhale up. Make sure your shoulders haven't jumped up around your ears, so you've still got some space here in the shoulder. And exhale, draw them really wide. Splay your fingers as you do this as well, get some space into your hands. Inhale up, and exhale, draw them nice and wide. Lovely, and just inhale one more time up. And then we're going to exhale with our arms up this time. Nice. And then I want you to bring your arms wide, so they're in line with your shoulders. And I want you to take your right hand to your left wrist. And we're just going to take a little lean over to our right hand side. And you should feel this all the way down the left hand side of your body. You should feel like it's stretching, opening up, and you're compressing everything on the right hand side. Try and keep your bum grounded onto your heels. Back up to the centre, switch your wrists over. So your left hand is grabbing your right wrist, and over to the other way. And back up to the centre. Nice. And once more the other way again. So over to the right hand side. As you breathe here, just breathe normally, but try and focus on finding space in this side of your body. So as you breathe in, think about all of that air making space down the left hand side of your body. And back to the middle. And down to the left hand side. That's great. And then back up to the middle. Brilliant. And then just draw your arms wide. So we're going to do the same inhale and exhales, but this time we're going to bring some movement in with the rest of our body, okay? So I want you to inhale, come up on your knees, and then reach your arms up high. And then on your exhale, draw them wide and down. Okay, so inhale up, and then exhale, draw them wide and down, okay? Now, as you're doing this, keep going in time with your own breath. Make sure that you're trying to keep your upper body nice and upright as you do that movement, okay? So I don't want to see any like ducking and thrusting, okay? So you're just going to try and do that lift with these thighs that, if I knew my sister, she'll be working on, okay? So drawing nice and tall through that bit of your body, through your torso. That's fantastic. Great. So keep doing that in time with your breath. Couple more rounds, hopefully feeling a bit of heat, bit of energy being generated. And then come to settle on your next exhale with your bum back down on your feet. We're going to come through now onto all fours. Okay, I'm going to go sideways so that you guys can see what I'm doing. I'm just going to move my water bottle. So we're going to come through onto all fours. I'm sure you've done many things with glue, engaging your bodies in this position, okay? So make sure that your shoulders are over your wrists, okay? And that your elbows are facing inwards rather than rotating forwards, okay? So make sure your elbows are kind of facing towards each other. And same with your hips, they want to be stacked nicely over your knees, okay? And we're going to just do a few rounds of some cat-cows. So I want you to inhale, excuse me. I want your stomach to drop low, your bum to go high, and your head to go up and back. And then you're going to exhale, and I want you to imagine there's a piece of string pulling your belly button up towards the ceiling. Your chin's going to come down to your chest like we did at the start. And then inhale again. Big inhale. And then exhale, curve that pelvis under. Really feel that lift, okay? Push your palms into the floor to really extend through your arms, through your shoulders, across the top of your back. One more. And exhale through again. And then just come back to a nice neutral position. Okay, we're just going to rotate the hips a little bit, so whatever feels like your body feels like it needs, okay? So perks of the privacy of your own home, you can shimmy those hips however they feel they need to today, and really get your hips rotating, Get a bit of movement through that bit of your body. Lovely. And now we're going to come back up onto our knees nice and tall. That's great. And then we're going to take our right leg out to the side. We're trying to keep contact with the whole of the sole of our foot. Okay? And we're just going to sweep our arms up nice and tall. Again, make sure every time our arms come up that we're not drawing our shoulders to our ears. We're going to do that once today, and I'll make it real clear when we are. But we're going to try and keep those shoulders nice and low. That's great. And then we're going to take that over to the right hand side. Okay, so your left palm is pointing down towards your right leg. Okay, if that feels too much for you, then you can stay nice and neutral with your hands on your hips, or you can do one of those teapot impressions. I'm sure you've done some singing class at some point. Okay, or you can keep it nice and neutral. You can keep one hand on one hip. You can gently slide your hand down your leg. Find whichever version is working for you today. A few different options in there. That's great. And then we'll come back to neutral, and then we'll bring our left arm down to the floor. So we're making a nice straight line here, okay? So make sure that your left hand is in line with your knee, with your left knee, which is in line with your right, the middle of your right foot, okay? If you can get your left hand flat on the floor, that's great. Otherwise on your fingertips, or if you need something to rest on, if you've got a yoga block, that's fab, or a stack of books, or anything that you can rest your hand on, okay? And then if you've got the movement and it feels good, I want you to take your right arm over your head. This time your right fingertips are drawing tall, okay? So they're pulling up, 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 as if you're trying to stretch from your from your middle finger on your right hand, all the way down to your little toe on your right foot. Really, really opening up. And then back through to the middle. Hands on hips, swap those legs over. Left leg out, fab. And then exactly the same thing. So either keeping your hands on your waist if you want to, sliding your hand down your leg, or if you want to, taking that arm up and over. It's a really nice stretch all the way down the side of your body. Make sure that this right palm is pushing down. And then bring your right hand down and your left arm up, up, up. That's it. Keep your gaze forwards. Keep that contact with that left foot. Make sure it's not accidentally floated itself up into the air. And then back through to the middle. Amazing. Tuck that leg back under. And we're going to come up into a downward facing dog. Those of you who've done some yoga before, feel free to just go for it. We want to tuck our toes under. So we're going to start as if we're in our all fours position. Then we're going to raise our hips nice and high. Okay. Keep your knees bent if you need to, or you can put your feet flat and you can let your legs straighten. What you're aiming to do is look backwards towards your knees, okay? This is an inversion, so obviously our head is lower than our heart. If that feels a bit woozy and doesn't feel great for you, then just take your gaze forwards, and that will really help, okay? If it feels too much, then just come down to your knees, stay in an all fours position, okay? If downward dog's happening for you today, that's great. You might want to bend your knees a little bit, feel that stretch down the back of your legs. You're trying to get your back nice and flat. Nice and flat is what we're aiming for. So you want to get those hips coming up nice and high, and you want your gaze to go through your knees. And look out on all the snow, which I can see falling outside. It's quite bonkers. Great. And then putting a little bend in your knees, you're going to walk your feet towards your hands, okay? As much bend as you need in your knees there, okay? And then we're going to drop our head forwards into that Uttanasana forwards fold, okay? If you can straighten your legs, that's fantastic.
If you want to keep a bend in your knees, that's also completely great. Your hands can land on your shins, they can land on the floor, or they can go behind your feet. Really enjoy the space that now exists between your belly and your thighs. And take your hands gently round to the right hand side. Feel that little twist from your left hand all the way down to your left foot. And then wander it back through again. So both hands in line with your left foot. Again, keep that bend in your knees if you want to. If your hands are on your shins or if your hands aren't reaching the floor, then just take your shoulders. So just lead with your shoulders round to that left hand side, okay? Back through to centre. And we're going to slowly peel ourselves up to standing. One vertebra at a time. Keep your head hanging low. And then bring your head up and take your gaze forwards. This is Tadasana mountain pose. Now we all stand up all the time, but it's not to be overlooked, okay? We have 28 little bones in our feet. It's really important that they're all doing their thing. So give your toes a wiggle, make sure your toes feel nice and connected with the floor. I want your palms to face forward. I want your chin to be nice and level, so not down, not up. And your shoulders, again, set nice and straight, neither forwards nor back. See the bells ringing here in the village. And just rest your eyes again. And bring your hands to your heart centre. And what we're going to do here is a couple of breaths to do with harnessing the sun. This is something I teach in pregnancy yoga, but there's definitely moments in the postpartum period where we all feel like we need a little bit more power, a little bit more energy, and we can get that from the sun. And what we're going to do, we're going to bend our knees. I'll show you first so you guys can join in. We're going to bend our knees. We're going to sweep our arms on a big exhale. Again, another perk of being at home, nobody can hear you, so make this one count. You're going to clench your fists above your head, and then you're going to do a really strong exhale, and it's going to be audible. Okay, harness that sun, harness that power, okay? We're going to do 3 rounds of this, okay? So we'll do 3, I'll guide you through it. Please go for it at home. Obviously, I can't hear you, no one else can hear you, and even if they can, it's good for the soul, so make it count. Big inhale. And again. And one more. Feel free to do that in the supermarket whenever it needs to happen. I enjoy that one, okay? We're next going to do a little sun salutation. If you have time for no other yoga except sun salutations, then you're going to get all the range of movement through your body, okay? So I'm going to talk you through just a couple of these. So we're going to start, hopefully feeling a little bit charged already from those nice exhales, okay? So start with your hands at your heart centre, feet hip width apart. Okay, we're going to inhale, sweep our arms up overhead. We're going to exhale, draw our arms wide, hinge at the hips, Uttanasana, forwards fold. If your hands don't come to the floor, no worries, just bring them to your shins. Okay, bring them wherever they land and bend if you need to, that's completely fine. And then we're going to step our right leg back into our lunge position. Step our left leg back into plank, hold your breath there. And we're going to come down through Apanasana, so knees, chest and chin down to the floor. And then we're going to exhale up into our Cobra, okay? Try and make sure that the flats of your feet are still touching, okay? Your hands are underneath your elbows. Sorry, your hands are underneath your shoulders. Exhale there. Tuck your toes under. And come through to your downward facing dog. And we take 5 breaths here. Get those hips nice and high. One more breath. And then we're going to step our right leg back through to our lunge. Left leg through to join it. And sweep those arms up overhead. And back to our heart centre. We're going to go through the whole thing again on our left hand side. So, inhale, arms up to the sky. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, left foot back. Exhale through to our plank. Hold down, knees, chest, chin. Inhale through to our downward dog, through to our Cobra. You can come up a little bit higher into upward facing dog if you want to, or you can keep your arms down nice and low, depending where your abdomen is at, what feels comfortable for you. Okay, you might want to keep it super low, or it might feel like a nice stretch for your spine. And then push through into your downward facing dog, tuck those toes under, hips nice and high. Step your left leg through. Into that nice lunge. Keep those toes tucked under, that right leg nice and straight. And bring your right leg forward. Into your forwards fold. And sweep those arms up, up, up. Overhead. Palms together. And settle them back at your heart centre. Good. Everybody should feel like their heart rate is raised a little bit there. Just a really nice little sequence to be familiar with. We're going to move through now into our warrior one. Okay, so I want you to take your right leg back. Okay, I want you to keep your hips facing forwards, and your right leg wants to be at sort of 45 degrees. Okay, hips are facing forwards. Bend that front leg. Show you it in a sideways profile. Bend that front leg. Okay, you can go into it a bit heavier. When we're pregnant, we need to really think about the amount of load we're putting through our pelvic floor here. So just be considerate of that, but you can definitely take it wider than when you're pregnant, okay? We're going to sweep our arms up. Make sure that that knee is still tracking forwards. You should just be able to see your big toe still. Gaze forward, hands are wide, facing each other. It's a nice strong pose, our warrior one. And then what we're going to do is we're going to bring our left arm round and up. So bending at the elbow, placing the back of our hand onto our back. And then we're going to fold our right arm down. And we're going to try and hook our hands together. Okay? If that's not available to you, just grab your jumper. And I want you to really think about opening your chest. However you're feeding your child, we're all going to be doing lots of cuddling, lots of cradling, and our shoulders and our chest takes a real hit in terms of our posture, okay? So really opening up here. Feeling a bit of a burn in that left thigh. And then release those arms and come back through to centre. Bring those feet together. And then we're going to take warrior one on the other side. So we're going to step our left leg back. Okay, take 45 degrees with that back foot. Make sure your hips, imagine the beams of light, kapow, both still facing forwards, okay? Bend into that front leg, sweep your arms up. Make sure they haven't jumped up around your ears again. Make sure you're holding nice and strong through your torso. We don't want to stick our bottoms out. That's great. And we're going to try that same posture on the other side. So you'll find that you've got lots more flexibility on one side than you have on the other. That's completely normal, completely fine, but it's good to be aware of it. Make sure those shoulders and those elbows are both moving back. Nice and focusing to do these postures with our arms. And again, it's making space across our chest. That's great. And then release your arms, stepping your legs back together, okay? And we're going to move through into warrior two. So this time what we're going to do, I'm stand sideways for you, we're going to step our right leg back and we're aiming to get the middle of our right foot lined up with our front heel, okay? This time we want our hips to be pointing forward, so if you're on a yoga mat, maybe on the long edge of your yoga mat as you take your warrior two posture, you might want to take it a little bit wider, okay? Make sure that both feet are active, both feet are working hard. Hips are pointing sideways. We're going to bring those arms up, okay? So your arms want to be coming out at shoulder height, and they're going to be pulling away from you, okay? So imagine one arm's been going that way, the other arm's going away from you in the opposite direction. Palms are facing down, and we're going to take our gaze forwards, out along the middle of that left hand. And then we're just going to take that side pose that we took this earlier. So you're going to bring your left forearm down onto your knee, and you're going to sweep your right arm up overhead. Make sure you haven't lost contact with your right foot. Okay, again, if that feels too much, keep your right hand on your hip, or just stay in your warrior two position. That's completely fine. You don't want to put any weight through your forearm, okay? And your left hand should now be pointing upwards, so your left palm is now up, up, up. Make sure you've not tipped backwards or forwards, and that you're still in a nice straight plane as if you're wedged between two pieces of glass. And then sweep back up again, straighten that front leg, and take a nice reverse warrior. So this time, my hands come up over my head, palm of my hand is pointing down towards the floor. You can try and take your gaze towards that hand. That doesn't feel too much. Again, really opening through the torso. That's lovely. Back through to the middle. And then rotate your left foot, so both toes are now pointing forwards. And we're going to take a nice wide forwards fold here, okay? So hands on the hips, and we're going to hinge forwards. Okay, if you want to, you can grab a chair, you can grab onto something at this point, you can bend your knees, okay? If you can do it with straight knees, that's fantastic. Bring your hands down towards the floor. Just do whatever feels comfortable for you. You see, if you bring your knees, if you bring your hands to the floor and take your legs wider, it's going to be a little bit easier than if they're super narrow. So find a version that's comfortable and is working for you. And then bring yourself back up. And we're going to just take that series of warrior two postures on the other side. So we're going to rotate our right foot out, okay? And we're going to make sure our knee is tracking so we can still see our right toe. Float those arms up. Take that gaze out along your right middle finger, but feel like you're being pulled by your left middle finger as well. Nice and strong through this left thigh. Keep that breath nice and steady. And then bending forwards, okay? And taking that nice stretch over to the other side with our left arm. Make sure you're still feeling pressure through to the ground in your left foot. And back through, straighten that front leg. Slide your hand down your left leg. Right arm goes up. Take your gaze up towards your right arm if you can. Through to our reverse warrior. If that feels far too much, then again, just take your arm up high. Hand on the left hip. Just take your gaze to your right hand. If moving your gaze and moving your head is doing bonkers things for your balance, then just keep your gaze nice and neutral, nice and forwards, and just raise that arm. And back down again. And this time I want you to rotate your right foot back into the middle, and then you're going to rotate both your heels through, and we're going to take our goddess squat. Again, this is one I really enjoy in pregnancy yoga. It's nice and empowering. gets the blood flowing, feels nice and energizing, okay? So your feet are turned out, Can't imagine my sisters have got you doing any squats at all. So, okay, we're gonna sit nice and low in our goddess squat, okay? If that feels too much, just take it a little bit higher, that's completely fine, okay? So wherever you're at, hands together at your heart center, you're gonna inhale your arms up, and you're gonna exhale those arms nice and wide as we sit down into our goddess squat, okay? If you wanna add in a nice audible exhale, then please do. Draw your hands nice and wide as you do this. Keep those shoulders nice and open, nice and wide. Feel your shoulder blades being drawn together. Nice. One more time. That's great. And then come back through to the centre, shake it all out a little bit if you need to. And we're going to have a little look at a balanced posture. And then we're going to bring ourselves down onto the mat. We're going to do a couple of twists and our all-important Shavasana. Okay? So, we're going to have a little look at our eagle pose. Okay? You might want to grab a chair if you've not done this before and you're not sure how it's going to go for you. We're going to do something with our arms and something with our legs at the same time. Okay? So we'll just look at the legs to start with. What we're aiming to do is take our right leg over our left leg, as if we're crossing our legs, and then, we're going to tuck our toes behind our left calf. And then we're going to slowly lower our hips as if we're sitting down, and our legs all sort of like interlock and snake on top of each other and hold us there, okay? Then we're going to bring our arms, left arm under the right arm, and we're going to bring our hands together. And you're going to take your gaze through that front thumb. Whoops! There's too many options. There's mirrors, there's screens. I'm trying to work out where to stabilise in here. So find a fixed point for your gaze, for your focus. And feel that space across the top of your shoulders. Bring your arms forwards a little bit if you can. That eagle pose. If it's too much, you can just do the legs. Hands on hips, okay? Or if you want to stay in a nice neutral, steady stance, then you can just practice the arms, okay? So you're going to sweep your left arm under your right, so your elbows are kind of sat inside of each other, and then your hands want to touch like this, okay? So they hook round upon each other. That's it. Hook your thumbs together and bring those arms forwards. It's a really good one for focus. Okay, and we're going to have a little look at it on the other side. As I said earlier, generally you're going to feel more steady on one side than the other, and that's completely fine. So hook your left leg over your right knee and back round onto your right calf. And then right arm's going under, hands join. Bring that gaze forwards. Make sure you're still breathing. Engage your whole body. It's really good for us to stay good at balancing. It's good for our focus, and it's good for our physical well-being. And release. Nice. Okay, now, I threatened it earlier, and we're going to actually do it now. I want you to bring your arms up over your head, so your hands are touching, okay? Hands are touching. And this time, I want the insides, the tops of your arms, to press against your head, press against your ears, okay? We're going to zip our bodies up super tight, and we're going to just try and come up onto our tiptoes in our arrow pose. Okay, and lower it down again. And try it one more time. Now from here, if you can, I want you to try and lower down into a little crouch on our toes, okay? If at any point you want to release your arms down onto your hips, that's fantastic. If you just want to lower down into your crouch position from your feet flat, then that's completely fine. Okay, if that's too much on your toes, then you can just kneel. But if it's available to you, then I want you to try and stay getting this nice stretch through the backs of your feet. This is what I'm referring to as the travel clock stretch. So basically we've got our hands in our heart centre, and then we're going to take our right shoulder back, then we're going to release our arms. Okay, this is what I like to do in between singing a lullaby, patting a little bottom off to sleep. Do a little stretch on the side of the cot. And that's it. And then back through to the middle. Hands together. If you're on your knees, feel free to put your bum back onto your feet, and you can still do that stretch. Still feel that rotation through your torso. And then back through to centre. That's awesome, fantastic. Then we're going to come down onto our bottoms. So just bring your bottom down onto the mat. And we're going to bring our feet out in front of us. Okay? And we're going to do some nice twists, okay? When I was pregnant, I really missed being able to do a good twist. So it's nice to be able to celebrate being able to do that again in the postnatal period. If it doesn't feel right, obviously, don't do it. I'll show you the open version that might feel more comfortable, okay? So we're going to bend up our right leg, and we're going to step it over our left leg, okay? So we're going to raise our arms up nice and tall, and we're going to draw them wide in a circle, okay? We're going to bring our right arm backwards behind us, and our left arm, we're aiming to bring our our elbow over our knee, and we're going to take our gaze over our right shoulder. So you should feel that twist all the way through the right hand side of your body. Okay? And with every breath, just see if you can take your gaze any further over your right shoulder. So I'll just show you sideways what we're doing. So you're here, and you're taking your gaze back. Taking your gaze back. If that feels too much, okay, then you can still cross the leg. So you can still cross your right leg over your left foot, but then you can open up to the non-closed side where there's lots more space, okay? So if that feels more comfortable, then please do that. Otherwise, take that twist over the right leg and over the right shoulder. Keep your straight leg nice and active and engaged, okay? So no lazy toes, on those toes pointing up towards the ceiling. And then we're going to try the same posture on the opposite side. So put your legs out straight, cross your left foot over your right leg. Inhale your arms up. And then exhale, take that rotation. Try and hook your right elbow over your left knee. And take your gaze back over your left shoulder. And with every exhale, see if you can find any more twist. And then back through to the centre. And then we're going to try and bring our feet together in Baddha-Konasana. So you can keep them nice and far away from the body, or you can bring them in close, whatever feels comfortable in your groin, making sure that your bottom is still on the floor, okay? You can lift your whole bottom up onto a towel if that helps, or you might want to put 2 rolled up towels under your knees if it just doesn't feel comfortable anywhere, okay? We take an inhale, and then on exhale, we're going to bring our chest forwards, okay? I don't want anyone like rounding out. Show you sideways. We don't want to round out like this. We're going to keep our chest forwards and nice and straight back. So really nice stretch in the groin. And then back to the centre. Just bring your knees together, and we'll just take it one more time. So you might want to adjust where your feet are. You might want them further away, you might want them closer together, or you might want to play around with the toes, the ball of one foot on the heel of the other, so slightly offset. So take whichever version feels nice for you. You want your thumbs of your feet
On the instep of your foot, take a nice inhale, and then on the exhale, drawing forwards, keeping that back engaged, keeping your feet pressed together, feeling that stretch in your groin. And then bring those knees together. And we're going to do one more seated posture, and then we're going to come to our lying down. Okay? So what I'd like you to do now is take your right leg, so sit as if you're sitting with both your legs wide, feet engaged up towards the ceiling. And then we're going to bring our left foot in, and we're trying to get the heel of our foot right up to the top of our right leg. Okay? Lovely. And then we're going to take our hips and our shoulders and our body so that we're facing along our bent left leg. So we're going to inhale our arms up. Okay? And then on the exhale, we're going to take both our arms over to the side. Okay? And we're going to aim to stretch our body and lean our body out along that right leg, keeping that left hip open and back, and the left shoulder and the chest nice and open. Okay? If you can, reach with your right foot. With your right hand that reaches around your right foot. Okay, if not, it can be anywhere on that leg. That's completely fine. Try not to fall forwards or fall backwards, so keep nice and upright as you take that stretch over. Again, feel that compression on your right side. I've done it a couple of times, but it's a really nice sensation. And then opening up through the left-hand side. And then as we come out of that, we're going to bring our left hand down behind us, and we're going to roll up onto our left knee, and we're going to take a nice big stretch. Your pelvis and your stomach feel really open, really forwards as we do this. Your right hand's pushing down towards the floor, and back down again. And then switch your legs over. We're going to try the same one on the same stretch, series of stretches on the other side. Okay, so make sure that you're facing your hips along towards your bent leg, and that the heel of your right foot is up into your groin on your left leg. Toes active on the right foot. Sweep those arms up, and then take them over to the left hand side. Okay, if you just want to sit tall, that's completely fine. Obviously you don't have to take that twist and stretch, it's completely up to you. You could just stretch your arms up nice and tall and take your gaze out along your bent leg. Completely fine. Make sure you keep breathing. We never want to hold our breath through any of these postures. And then back through, and then we're going to reach up. So put your left foot down on the floor. With this one, if you want to just take your hand up towards the ceiling, that's fine. If you want that extra stretch, really feel that opening up through your torso, through your pelvis. Take that right hand back. Sorry, that left hand. And then bring that bottom down again. And we're going to take a nice couple of twists lying down. And we're going to stay there for a while and relax, okay? So, I want you to take yourself down to the floor, lying down with your knees bent, okay? And your palms are down towards the floor, okay? And you're just going to take both your knees over to the right hand side. So you're going to draw your arms out at shoulder height, again with your palms down towards the floor. And you're going to take your gaze over your left shoulder. Okay? If you feel like you want to have more of a twist, then bring your left leg nice and high. Left leg nice and high. If it feels like too much, then bring your gaze back to the center, or bring your arms back down by your side. And then bring your knees back to the center, and then take them over
Get your gaze over your right shoulder. Again, you can extend it by bringing that right knee higher, taking those legs a little bit wider. So a really nice stretch across your hip. Excuse me. And then bring your legs back to centre, hands by your side. And we're just going to do 2 more postures. So we're going to do a happy baby. And it turns out this is actually a thing babies do. Who knew? So you're going to bring your feet up towards the ceiling, okay? And then if you can, I want you to put your hands over your feet, okay? If that's not available to you, then just hook your hands under your knees, okay? And then you're aiming to keep your back and your pelvis down on the floor, okay? It's a really good one if your pelvic floor has got too tight, which is a thing that lots of people postnatally can't even fathom might be a thing, but actually you can overwork your pelvic floor for fear of it being loose, and the consequence of that can be that it can end up the other way. So this is a really good one for pelvic floor release. So just make sure as you lie here that everything is feeling nice and relaxed, okay? If you want to, you can massage your lower back a little bit. And gently rotate from side to side. And then lastly, we're going to bring our knees together. I want you to put your hands on the top of your knees so that your knuckles are pointing up towards your face and towards the ceiling, okay? And we're going to inhale and draw our knees up towards our chest. And we're going to keep our feet together. We're going to exhale and draw a big circle with our knees. Push our knees away from us. Bring our knees together. Bring them up towards us. Inhale. And then exhale as we draw them away, keeping those toes gently touching. Inhale, bring them up towards your chest. And exhale, draw them nice and wide. One more time. That's that. And then bring your feet down to the floor. And I want you to get yourself comfortable for some relaxation. Ideally, you might want to put on another layer, or you might want to grab a little blanket, if that's an option. And when we're relaxing for our Shavasana, we've got a couple of options. So we want to make sure that our body's nice and relaxed, okay? So the backs of our hands on the floor, up towards the ceiling. Make sure your shoulders aren't up around your ears. And then you can gently close your eyes. If you want to, you can put one hand on your heart, you might want to put one hand on your stomach, or you might want to just keep both hands on the floor. Get yourself into a nice, comfortable position. Excuse me. And we're just going to start by revisiting the little thoughts we were having with our breath at the start. So we're going to inhale peace and exhale tension. Inhale peace. Exhale tension. And we're just going to relax our body. We're going to relax our toes and our feet. Feel your heels making contact with the ground. We're going to relax our calves
fronts of our legs. Feel the little space underneath your knees. Relax your thighs. Let them feel heavy on the floor. Let your pelvis sink heavy into the floor and relax. Feel the little pockets of air just in the small of your back. Be aware of nothing except the air gently coming in and out of your body. Relax your ribs, your upper back. Relax your abdomen and any tension that you may hold in this part of your body, release and relax. Relax your chest, your shoulders. Let them rest, relax, and be steady. Feel your arms resting on the floor, heavy and relaxed. Each and every finger relaxed. Relax your collarbone. Relax your neck, your jaw, and your mouth. Let it relax. Let yourself rest. Relax your cheeks, your eyes, your ears. Everything relax. Relax your brow. All the thoughts mothers have, let them go. Let you be you and relax. As you relax, imagine a quiet mountainside with big trees and falling snow. The snow is silent. And nobody has touched the fallen snow. Remember, nature is the only certainty. quiet field, these big trees, and this mountainside covered in snow. The calm and the quiet. And I want you to think of 3 things that you feel grateful for. Hold on to those 3 things deep in your heart as we slowly start to invite a bit of movement back into our body. Maybe start by wriggling your toes, your fingertips, a little wiggle and a stretch in the mouth and the nose. And then when you're ready, I want you to roll with your eyes still closed onto your right hand side. And then keeping your eyes closed, bring yourself up to seated with your legs folded in Shavasana, easy pose. And with your hands at your heart center. May there be peace above you, around you, and most importantly within you. Namaste. Alright, please open your eyes. And thanks very much for joining. I hope it's been nice to do some yoga. And yeah, keep up with your postnatal courses with Lou. And take care, try and do some more yoga. And be kind to yourselves. Bye bye.